Hello and welcome to this collective reading. I hope you're all well. Welcome back to those of you who've been here before, and a brand new welcome to those of you who haven't. My name is Dylan, and today I'm going to be pulling some cards for general energies. So this is a general reading, and this is a timeless reading as well. So whenever you find these messages, whenever they reach you, it's the right time for you. So we're going to work with two decks for this reading. We're going to work with two tarot decks and one oracle deck. And if you're interested in any of the decks that I use, if you like the artwork or the symbolism, then you can find links to those in the description box below, and you can also find all of my other links as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the videos. I nearly always forget to say that. So let's have a look and see what wants to come through for this reading for you. Okay, Five of Stones, endurance. Yes, there is absolutely an energy of endurance coming through as I'm recording this reading. Many people I've spoken to are moving through challenges, difficulties, perhaps just feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm saying that here we've got the lightning bolt in the background, and this child here in the card is huddled and probably quite afraid, tending to the fire, trying to keep themselves warm while this storm rages all around them. So you could be experiencing some outer chaos in your life, and you could also be experiencing some inner chaos, or both. Quite often when we feel chaotic on the inside, that tends to reflect back to us on the outside. So you might find lots of things happening at once, like for example, I don't know, maybe there's a leak where you live, maybe the washing machine stops working, maybe something breaks, like quite a few things happen in a row. And what I will say is that quite often when these things happen, when things start to break down, when things stop working or malfunction, and lots of things happen in a row, that's often things falling apart so that they can come back together in a different way. So if it feels like things are kind of falling apart around you at the moment, then just know that it's likely being dismantled so that you can attract something new. If you've been setting intentions around receiving something that you really want to receive or experience, then this could be the domino effect that comes from that. So when we set an intention for something positive to happen in our lives, if that is at a different frequency or resonance to where we are at the moment, then where we are at the moment, the things around us generally have to fall apart and fall away and be let go of for us to accept that new future that we're moving towards. So if you are going through quite a lot at the moment, if you feel perhaps a little bit overwhelmed, just remember that this too shall pass. That's coming through quite strongly as a message. And somewhere along the line, everything's going to fall into place. It's just that it needs to fall apart first. So I am getting this sense of like jigsaw puzzle pieces being moved around in the background, being put together. So there are things happening in the ethers, things happening energetically that you can't see yet. And so I'm going to say as a main message to hold on, to keep going, keep doing what helps you to feel safe and sane and lift your energy, do the things that you love to do, see the people that feel right for you to see. If you need to spend more time alone, then absolutely do that as well. Anything that resonates for you in terms of, helping you to feel safe, to feel level, to feel balanced, keep bringing yourself back into that state, keep coming back into your power, into your own energy. And eventually things are going to open out and they're going to change, and there will be a path ahead then that makes sense. Because I'm also getting a sense of confusion, maybe not knowing what's around the corner, maybe not knowing which path to take yet. And I feel like the child in this card is kind of doing the right thing in that situation, waiting for the storm to pass, not trying to travel in the dark where they can't see where they're going. There's a fire lit as well, so that's them taking care of themselves, keeping themselves warm and safe. And probably, they might retreat into this cave to sleep, maybe to take cover from the rain. So they're making use of what's around them to take care of themselves. And I also want to say as well, it's quite a lot from one card, but I also want to say that you've come a long way and that actually, you know, you're well equipped to endure what is going on at the moment. You have all the strength that you need. That's not to say that it feels pleasant when we move through these times, but you do have what you need around you. So just bear that in mind if you have any days where you feel overwhelmed and really troubled and you're really struggling to keep going. Just remember that you do have the strength, and it's very important if you feel overwhelmed to allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to switch off for a while. And when I say rest, you know, scrolling on a phone isn't really resting. We all do it at some point. I do it. But scrolling is actually still our minds being kept active all the time, and what we're really doing is distracting. And there could be things that you actually need to feel at the moment that want to come up. And it's almost like I'm getting a sense of them kind of jostling for position, trying to come up and be heard and felt. And, you know, if you're using kind of coping mechanisms and distracting yourself, then you're not allowing yourself to feel what needs to come up. Sometimes we can feel overwhelmed because these feelings are stuck and they're trapped. So just bear that in mind if there's anything that really needs to come out and be witnessed by you. Yeah, Queen of Bows here. So I feel like the path is opening up, like I said. I've got this energy here of fire. Like the Queen of Wands or Queen of Bows in this deck is a very fiery archetype. She's very powerful. She knows her power. She's in her power. She's in her strength. And she creates. She loves to create. She does it because she loves it. And I just get the sense with this card from this deck, there's a little bit of more of a dark energy in this deck. And now I'm getting the sense of like the dark feminine rising, and this really ties in with what I was saying about things falling apart. We think about the goddess Kali, for example. She can be a nurturer. She's a mother goddess, but she's also a goddess of destruction and death and chaos. And she tears things down and rips them apart in order for new things to be born. So I just saw a forest fire, or like the fires that they have in somewhere like Australia, for example, that burns away a lot of the old dead growth, and then the new shoots can come through. That's what I'm feeling with the Queen of Bows coming in with all of her fire. She's bringing that in to burn away what no longer serves. So that's definitely backing up what I was feeling from the first card. So I get a sense here as well that it's really important to harness that fire. Sometimes fire can be scary, it can be very destructive in a way that causes loss of life and difficulty, and you know, it can really damage a place if it's not controlled and carefully managed. And so I get this sense that it's really important to harness your fire at this time, and by harnessing that fire you're actually creating your future, harnessing that power to direct it in the way that you want it to go. And the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Bows, is very much about that. She knows her direction, she knows her focus, she knows where she's going. So if you are in this endurance phase, a little bit lost, a little bit afraid, wondering what's going to happen, it will shift, and what will happen is this Queen of Wands archetype, let's say, within all of us, you know, whether male or female, we can have that archetype come through and really take the take the lead. She's very good at leading. So this is you taking control of your own life, harnessing your fire, like I said, to create what you want to create moving forwards, moving out of this dark time in the background here. So let's pull a card from another deck. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got the Chariot, which is the fairy stallion in this deck. The number 7. This is all about moving forwards quickly. So this endurance phase, it is going to fall by the wayside. I feel like the best thing that can happen when we are moving through a time of maybe confusion and doubt and not really knowing which way to turn is to let the storm pass, as I was saying with this card, and it will pass. And I think sometimes this happens to me, and I know it happens to other people that I know, we can become worried. We can start to worry that we're just going to be stuck in an endurance phase, in a state of overwhelm or a state of worry, that we're going to get stuck if we allow ourselves to feel our emotions. And the funny thing about that is, or the strange thing about that is, when we do allow ourselves to feel emotions, they move. You know, it's emotion, as the saying goes, you know, energy in motion. It needs to move like the stallion in this card. And when we do allow those emotions to surface, we get back on track quicker. It's actually the blocking of the emotions and the blocking of those intense feelings that keeps us blocked, because we're not just blocking those, but we're blocking everything. And so we could be blocking our creative fire, our creative essence, our spirit. And you know, the Queen of Bows, the Wands cards are related to spirit, to creation, to that spark, to that fire, to inspiration. And so we need to allow those feelings to move. So if you're in a space where you do feel a little bit stuck, take some time to breathe, take some time to settle, ask yourself what you need to feel. What is it that you're not allowing yourself to feel? Sit with it, and you may find anger arises at something that's happened, or it could be something from a long time ago. It could be that you feel sad about something that's just passed out of your life, moved away from you, or you've moved away from it, but you haven't allowed yourself to feel that sadness, and so it's stuck. You might be not allowing yourself to feel excited about something. It doesn't always have to be heavy emotion. And when you realise what it is, when you let that come to the surface, come to your mind, let yourself know what it is, then you can feel it and you can shift it, and then you get back in gear. You get back on your horse and you keep going. So that's it's a really nice message, actually, a really empowering message. It's just a great reminder to feel how you feel, let those feelings come up, and just let that fire come up if it needs to. You know, there could be a lot of anger, there could be rage, there could be things like that are repressed and suppressed, and in repressing that explosive kind of energy, you're repressing and suppressing a spark that wants to set light to something creative. It is very much about, I would say, with anger and with rage, it's very much about witnessing that, not throwing it out there at other people, and containing it in a way, but then once you know what it is, channeling it into something creative. So you could think about, maybe, think about heavy metal bands and rock bands that are, particularly screamy and shouty. Well, that's them channeling their rage through their instruments and through their voice, to let that energy move. And that's why, so many of us enjoy that kind of music, because it allows us to do the same. So there could be something that you could create from your frustration, anger and rage that could actually benefit other people in the long run, even if it's just a beautiful piece of art that people recognize themselves in and can appreciate. So, I just had the words, don't hold your gifts back from the world as well. So it's very important, if you do feel to channel creatively, to not stop yourself from doing that, because through creation, you can really help people along the way. Not only, release the things that you need to release, but help others to do the same. Yeah, let's see. Before I speak about this card, I just realised as well that, of course, this horse, this stallion in this card, is wearing a harness. And so, yeah, really interesting there, where I was talking about harnessing your fire, harnessing your power to create your future. And of course, the stallion is moving forwards, and they move forwards very quickly with the Chariot card, with the fairy stallion as it is in this deck. There's really quick, fast movement. If you think about the traditional tarot, if you think about the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, for example, you've got the two sphinxes, one black, one white, and this is about balance and moving forwards, balanced and with all of our aspects, bringing any opposing aspects together to move forwards in a cohesive way. Because if we've got two aspects, for example, within ourselves that want to go in opposite directions, if they've fallen out and they don't see eye to eye, it's very difficult to not go into a state of chaos and confusion and difficulty knowing which way to go. So there may be, when you are feeling into your emotions and allowing those to come to the surface, you might find conflict within yourself, and kind of sit with that conflict and see where it comes from. See how you can work with that and how you can bring these aspects back together in cohesion to move forwards in a clearer and more powerful way. So we've also got the Seven of Cups here. I feel like there are quite a lot of options. Maybe I just had this vision, almost like a cartoon, you know, where say it was Tom and Jerry, for example, and one of them bumps their heads or bangs their heads, and they have stars going around them. Sometimes you'll see little birds tweeting, and that's what I'm getting, like all of these thoughts going around, and also feelings as well, because this is the Seven of Cups. You may be finding yourself ruminating quite a bit, or I don't know, having all of these different options, different paths that you could take. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you know, we've got all of the cups with the different objects in them, and some of them are helpful, some of them are healthy, and some of them aren't. Some of them could be poison, or there could be a snake that could be venomous. And I feel like it's a good time to do what this child is doing in this card, and to sit and consider. If you notice as well, they're both hugging their legs. There's a sense of comfort here as well. And I do feel it's really important to take a break. As I said, you know, take a pause, wait until the storm has settled. You could be moving through, I just had the words healing storm come through then. So there could be old stuff that's surfacing and making you feel confused. And I would say sit still, take your time, let yourself feel those emotions, and in taking that time, in feeling in and listening in, you could receive internal messages, you could receive internal guidance, your intuition can be heard and felt, so that then you know which one of these stars or paths to pursue as you move forwards. But unless you take that time, this time, now, to be quiet, to be still and to listen, you might go firing off in all directions, and then you're not harnessing your fire to create exactly what you want. You're just throwing it out in all different directions and perhaps bringing back chaotic results. So let's pull an oracle card. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Magic Guardian. Unlock the magic within. Now this is what I was just feeling, and of course we've got fire here as well, which ties in with what I was saying about the Queen of Bows. This is very much Queen of Bows energy. If you see the woman in this card, this angel, she's very potent, very powerful, very confident. She's looking straight ahead. She knows what she's focusing on. She's got her intent all sorted. She knows what she's intending, and she knows what she wants to create. So unlocking the magic within is going to be something that's going to be important as you move forwards, when you start to feel a little bit more impetus, when you start to feel a little bit more energy. And also intending to create from a place of magic at this time, even if you feel stuck, can begin that cycle. It can help you to move out of the stuck phase and to remember that magic exists, because don't forget that you are a co-creator. You're a powerful, magical co-creator, and you're co-creating with spirit or with the universe or God, or whichever you like to call that force by, or whatever you like to call that force by. You are a powerful co-creator, and even if you're in a space where you don't feel particularly powerful at this moment, you still are powerful. We all go through cycles and seasons and times where we feel disempowered, and when we don't feel like we can go on, or we don't know what to do. And the main thing to do then, as I said, is sit still and listen in. And this is when we can remember our magic, then we can hear our magic, we can feel our magic. But there does need to be a resting period. Yeah, so never forget that. Never forget that actually you do have the power to create the things that you want to create in your life. What tends to happen when we start to feel disempowered, is that we forget that. We forget our magic. We forget that we hold this in our hands. And if there have been times in our lives where we felt disempowered, perhaps way back in childhood or somewhere in our early lives, somewhere in our teenage years, and maybe it's played out then through different relationships and through different situations, when those things have happened, we tend to go back to that feeling state when we get triggered by something that brings that up. And so we might drop back down into a state of feeling disempowered. And sometimes you can feel like, why do I feel this way? Like last week I felt really good, I felt really confident, I was doing all of these great things, and I felt like I wanted to be around people and meet new people and, put myself out there in the world. And now I've dropped down into this place of powerlessness again. Well, it's likely very often that there can be a trigger, something that happens. So when you sit in your quiet time, when you sit with yourself, take some time to ask yourself, what happened? When was the point when I started to feel disempowered? And when you find what that trigger was, it will give you a clue as to what these feelings are, and you can start to feel them. Harness that fire. I do get the sense that there is a kind of frustrated, angsty, angry, maybe rageful energy that's there, and that's not unusual around a feeling of disempowerment. But noticing that you feel disempowered is actually empowering in itself, because when you've noticed that, you can find your way back to yourself and find yourself again, find your magic again to move forwards with. So I think I'll pull one more card. I'm going to go with this deck again, and then I will close out the message or the reading. Let's see what we have here. One more message. Yeah, Six of Cups. It's definitely something from the past. Do allow yourself that time to feel your emotions. Do allow yourself time to cleanse as well. I'm just noticing that she's in the water there, and she's kind of half in, half out of the water. So if you can cleanse away the things that no longer really fit in your life, that would be helpful. I'm getting a sense of maybe showering. If you shower, then let the shower, like the water, wash over you, or you can visualize yourself in a shower if you don't have one, or you can visualize yourself under a waterfall in nature, having these old, I kind of want to say identities now, that's what just came through, old disempowered identities being washed away, being cleansed. And also there's a sense of soothing as well. I'm just noticing these flowers here in the water. This woman is very much in touch with her intuition, with her emotions, and the two go hand in hand. They're both related to the Suit of Cups, and if we can allow our emotions to flow, then we can allow our intuition to flow. These are both very feminine qualities, and being able to have both of those flowing side by side is ideally where we want to be, while being held in a more safe, constructive kind of container energy, which is more of the masculine energy, which we have in ourselves. All of us have this masculine and feminine interplay, like between these two parts of ourselves, and we need to be tapping into both, not just one or the other. So yeah, definitely something from the past with this being Six of Cups, and it needs to be acknowledged, remembered, felt, experienced, moved through, and then you can unblock your energy, harness your magic, harness your fire, and create the future that you want to create the life that you want to live in. Powerful stuff. So thank you as always for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and again, all of my links are below in the description box, and I hope you take good care of yourselves. Speak again soon. Bye bye.